Age of Empires 3 Hard AI. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you from the game summary. You see under difficulty it says hard, and then I'm going to show you how I did it. The game's not over yet. The enemy has attacked me like 30 times with a huge army, and every time I've either defeated his army or repelled his army and he retreated. I am the yellow player. You can see how I've occupied here in the south. The way I did it was I moved my town. I abandoned my town center, which I think is gone now. It used to be in this area. I abandoned it immediately. I moved to this area and I built a new town center right here. And I built some walls and I put a fortress over here. I did get a second fortress, and I put some towers along the wall. Over here, you see that in the center of the screen, this is one of those outposts where it's a trading post. The enemy can't, I don't think they can walk through this, so you can use that as a wall also. I then built a few buildings like the arsenal and the capital, because once you research everything, they're useless. The enemy will come and attack it, and while he's attacking it, I will be shooting at him. When I needed more space, I moved to this area. I built a new town center over here. I built some walls. You can see you can build across the water. And I closed off over here in the north. And then when I expanded, I closed it off again. And I put a town center so that I could fire at the enemy. And then I started building compartments. And I would put my army in the compartment, which includes artillery. Very important, you want to make artillery early in the game because the enemy will know that you have artillery and then they're less likely to attack. They'll postpone their attack if you have artillery. That's something that I discovered from playing the game. I maximize the number of people I have, the number of houses I have, and then you start to build more than one stable, barracks, artillery foundry, etc. You want the tavern because the tavern has very powerful units. And you want to have the fortress because it also can create some good units. So over here I have an alternate siege, and you can put some of your warriors up on the cliff. They're a little bit safer over there. The other thing that I did was I added a mill and I added the estate so I could earn something without my guys being exposed out in the vast nowhere. And I got 2 factories which I used to supply myself with wood. Obviously, you want to use all of your cards. It's nice to have a card that is repeatable, but unfortunately, I don't have any that are repeatable. So we're going to unpause the game, and we're going to watch the gameplay. And I don't know why it's so slow, but I'm going to tell you that the enemy does not defeat me. I have a couple monks with my army, and I only use ranged weapons, and I keep them on my side of the wall. And then what I do is I fight with them. I try to bring them close to my fortress and my towers, and I was able to overpass the enemy. The enemy has a certain number of points, which are shown on the upper right, and I have a certain number of points. I was behind him. He was ahead of me 2-1, but now I'm ahead of him. So I've been able to successfully do it. I don't know what the game's doing. The reason why it's doing this is because I paused the game a couple hours ago. And if a game has a memory leak, then it's going to behave like that. I'm going to see if I can get the game back in a moment. Okay, so the strategy that I gave, also, you want to be on that town center. You want to level up as quickly as possible. I did not make the townspeople until late in the game. The other thing that I did was when the army was coming, when they were coming to battle against me, I created as many fighters as I could. I didn't care, as usually I use the ones with the range weapons, but I just created as many as I could. I didn't care about what their hit points were or anything like that. And I've got a lot of buildings that can do it. And I did read through to see which ones were the best. But because I have a really good defense, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to see if I can get more memory on my computer. I closed the program, but that program is not closing, which is, of course, my browser. When it closes, all of a sudden the game's going to have more memory. Okay, so that's basically it. So then what I started doing was I started making compartments. You can go back to the beginning of this video. The browser just closed. And you can see how I made compartments. And I put my army in the compartment. Sometimes they go out on their own. You see how it says defend? They're not defending. They're going out on their own, even though I've strictly told them not to. The other thing you could do is not put any gates. But if you don't put any gates, you're just going to have problems, because you do sometimes need to go through the gate. For example, to repair a wall. I don't know why these guys are doing this nonsense. I did obviously accept any cards. For example, the guys with the blue coats. And I've got around 2 or 3 monks. I see 3. It says I have 4. See, they still keep going out. The other thing you do is you use these buildings and you get the attack dogs. And I know there's an attack dog here, but I don't know how to individually select them. Every time I try, it moves the entire group. You take the attack dogs and you use the attack dogs to go out and harass them. You see that it just knocked down the whole wall. You want to put it on self-repair, which is this option right here. And the other thing that I could do is I could withdraw my military. The attack dogs are over here. And I could withdraw them into one of the other compartments. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this battle. Then I am going to have my guys go and rebuild the wall. After that, I am going to build a wall adjoining this building over here to my existing wall, and same on the other side. And I'm going to move my army over here. I'm going to take that building, and I am going to stop him from advancing. It looks like some of the dogs are gone. So I'm going to bring some more dogs back. What I might do is send out. Yeah, see, he's coming in with a lot of people. It's probably best if I retreat to here. Create more dogs. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these towers, I'm going to destroy them, and then I am going to rebuild them on my perimeter. And you can see I'm just going to wipe his army out. I've got a lot of these cannons. I probably used to have twice as many. I don't think he's going to stop fighting, but if you look at the numbers, I'm up to 330,000. He's down to 280,000. Every time he's going down another 10,000. I'm slowly depleting him. I'm going to move these guys behind the wall. You see a lot of my guys came out. And it looks like he's retreating. You see his army is now retreating. Well, he's got more guys coming. He's not going to be able to win here because I've got all this firepower over here. I'm going to check on these guys to see what's going on. Doesn't look like they're in range yet of my towers. You definitely want to have the monks or the priests to heal your guys as quickly as possible. In fact, maybe I will try to build more. I don't know if they get added to the population. Yes, they do. You see, I'm at 330,000. He's down to 270,000. My guys just refuse to stay in place. That's basically it. So once I finish these guys off, if no one else comes, I'm going to start extending extending my wall again. Just going to go like this. I don't have infinite resources, but I got a lot of resources. So it looks like my guys finally finished them. I'm going to pull them out over here. Let the priests who are over here, I'm going to let them go and heal. And then I'm going to find out which cannons to make. For example, something like this. You want the ones that are good for infantry. This says better against infantry than buildings, or anything that has a radius. A bang bang radius. Okay, so that's basically it. You can see that he's ready to attack again. I'm not going to have the wall built by the time he gets here. I'm going to pause the game. And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go with the, I don't remember what they're called, peditors or something like that. I'm not going to be able to see it, but petards. Anybody who is good at destroying buildings, you're going to build the wall and connect it to this building on both sides, right? And then you're going to take over this building, research anything you haven't researched, move your army over here, move your towers over here.